before we go on, let's just define what is business intelligence. There's probably a lot of buzzwords, different ways of defining it. The way I'm kind of talking about it, business intelligence is using data about yesterday and today to make better decisions about tomorrow. So using data from the past to make decisions about the future. And that's it. Why do you care? Why are you all looking at me? Listen to what I say. Why does business intelligence matter? Because business intelligence exists everywhere. I mean, there's information's growing like crazy. I read somewhere this week that the digital space is doubling every 2 years, and so there needs to be a way to make sense of all this growing data that we're coming upon. And so the mainstream culture is really gravitated towards business intelligence. I just thought of two things today on Mint.com. Who's got a Mint.com account? Yeah, so I mean, Mint.com takes all of your financial historical data. It takes it all in and talks about reports on all that you've been spending on. It says, hey, you've been spending $500 on Diebold beer in the last 2 weeks. You should probably stop doing that. Or Fitbit. Does anybody have a Fitbit? It's a little, yeah, why do people do this? It tracks your steps and your miles, your calories. Why do people care about this? It's not just they want to know how far they walk. It's because in the future they want to keep healthy. They want to be active. They want to know how to better improve themselves. So business intelligence honestly is everywhere. So I want to do a little experiment here. So here is just a trending graph. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. I got this from David McCandless's TED Talk that he gave about data visualization. If you've seen this, don't give it away. But here we see a trending chart for a year. And we see that it spikes 2 times a year, one time during Easter, one time during 2 weeks before Christmas, has miniature little spikes throughout the year on Mondays, and it kind of flattens out throughout the year. What do you guys think this data set is really showing? Retail? Definitely you're probably going to be buying stuff after this. So no. What else? What's that?
Church attendance.
Church attendance. Nope. You're going to church afterwards though.
Nice.
Maybe one more?
Internet consumers.
Internet consumers. No. But let's find out. So David and another colleague scraped 10,000 Facebook's updates and looked for the words break up or broken up. And he put it into this visualization. This is what we're finding. So people clearing house before spring break. Mondays after a rough weekend, right? People not wanting to buy Christmas gifts. And then flat, really dipping down Christmas, because honestly, who would break up someone during Christmas? How cool. So, but there's a lot of cool information that you can do with business intelligence, right? You can extract a lot of data and have a lot of insightful information. So what I want to do today is just kind of share with you things that I've learned. 3 keys of successful BI and 3 risks to avoid. They're not the most important risks and successes, but things that I just thought of. So let's start with successes. When you're implementing BI, you really need to identify what your key performance indicators are. I just talked about the growing number of data that's happening. It's not important necessarily to capture every single piece of data, but the right data. Think of AdTech, how much it grows, how much in Q4 we're growing. It's expensive to store data. It's expensive to upload data. If you're really just focusing on your key performance indicators, that's going to be really helpful for you. So 2 things to really think of when you are defining your KPIs is 1, valuable insights and actionable improvements. Are what you're really showing insightful and can you action on that? So, for example, this would not be a very valuable insight if you can read it. Green line is number of Nicolas Cage films. Red line is number of, I believe, editions of Harvard Law reviews by women. An 86% correlation between those two, but not very insightful or helpful. Second one, identify your types of users. So if you're going to be implementing BI, what is your company really, really asking for? And you really want to cater to what they're really asking for. So I've kind of given three types of users. One is information consumers. These are just people that want information to make one task. So give me the reporting so that I can give that reporting off to my clients. And two is BI middle class. These are people that aren't necessarily looking to do some really heavy-duty analysis, but want some transient opportunities. And the third one is power users. So people that really want robust dashboards, tools to really do heavy lifting. And then the third one is choose a winning team. One thing that I've noticed about business intelligence is that you really need to be bilingual between engineering or IT and operations. So you're working with really, really complex data sets that your technical people are really, really good at, and you need to speak to them. But you also need to make that insightful and actionable to the people that are going to be using it. All right, 3 risks. 1, resistance to change. People hate changing. People hate new technology that they're using. You think of Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Tipping Point. There's early adopters and there's late adopters. Most people fall into the late adopters. And so how do you get those people from that to actually use your new technology? What we found at Spot Exchange is you really just need to train them. You need really, really robust training. And so one thing that we did is implement training videos. So our analysts would record different tools, and how they would do that is just through a video. We would show them how to do it, and people could look at it and learn on their own time. So, and also leveraging your power users to kind of continue with Malcolm Gladwell. This is what marketing agents would be. They're your promoters, they're your champions of your new tools. Second one, moving targets. So AdTech is a constantly evolving, constant changing industry, right? Everything that was 6 months ago that was important isn't necessarily important anymore. This is really, really frustrating for BI. We worked really, really hard to build a dashboard, and a quarter later, it isn't relevant anymore. One thing that you just need to come to terms with is it happens. BI is a constantly evolving tool, it's a constantly evolving creature. It's something that you can't just set and forget. And the last one, bad data. This is awful, but if anything was a poster child for bad data, and garbage in, garbage out, it's BI. So if you think of BI as just really a reporting technology, it takes in information and it reports it, or it visualizes it in a really actionable way. But if you're not getting good data to begin with, you're not really going to report. So I would ask you, if you do have a BI strategy, how are you really ensuring that you're getting accurate data? Does it pass more than just the gut feel? When you look at it, ooh, this looks right, oh, this seems right, or do you have a really robust QA data governance process that really cross-reference that? And I did not need to put that in there. And that is it. Thank you so much.